What's up, Map Country? You're listening to the Lucky Charms podcast, and I'm your host, Cody Harms. Are you a fan of NFL football? Well, you've come to the right place. Each show, we're going to dive into the previous week of the season and get some instant reaction on the best games of the week. In tonight's show, we're going to talk about 5 games that caught my eye from a wild week, and we'll get to all that right after the break.
The Lucky Charms podcast starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Map Country. Welcome to the first edition of Lucky Charms podcast. As mentioned, we're going to dive into a number of Week 9 games in the NFL. So many upsets. And in the studio with me to talk about it is Mav Radio's own Jack McGonigal. Sup, dude?
Hey, man. How's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for coming on the show. How are things going?
I'm doing pretty well. Just a long week of football and basketball starting tomorrow, so I'm excited for that.
Openers for both men's and women's teams here at UNO tomorrow and across the country. Well, let's get right to it. That Cleveland and Cincy game.
Yeah, with that Cleveland-Cincinnati game, I think, I didn't really know what to expect, I guess. I kind of like watching the Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase killing it fantasy for me. My best draft pick, hands down.
Brown's been kind of shaky with the injuries, and yeah, they're pretty banged up, and I didn't know if OBJ was going to be a distraction or was going to kind of play or let the team play a little more freely or loose. But obviously it was more freely and loose. Baker was throwing the ball all over the field. And, the Browns looked really, really sharp. Probably the best they have all season against a rivalry matchup. The Cincinnati team wants to really beat Cleveland, and Cleveland really wants to beat Cincinnati. So the Browns really played well, and they were super impressive yesterday.
Leads me to wonder about OBJ. They played well without him. Feels like he's a cancer everywhere he's been, even though he's an extremely talented football player. But man, next, my Broncos slaughtering Dallas. They still them boys?
The Broncos, that was probably a bigger upset in my eyes than the Jaguars over the Bills. I don't know. I just the Broncos offense can be pretty inconsistent in Dallas, especially after that huge win in Minnesota. Without Dak, I thought they would just kind of steamroll the Broncos with his return. But, man, the Broncos shut down Dallas.
Not going to lie, I wasn't all that confident after Denver traded away Von Miller. But, damn, did all 3 facets of the game show up. Really hope they ride that wave of momentum at home against Philly this weekend.
Huge win for Denver. Huge momentum going into that Philadelphia game. A game they can win. And, yeah, Dallas just kind of laid an egg. I think they're still pretty legit. I think every NFL team kind of has that game where they just, don't play very well at all on all parts of the game. And I think Dallas, they're still legit, but heck of a win by Denver.
Your Giants over the Raiders, and who the hell is going to win the AFC West? It's a big game for the Giants to win, don't you think?
See, every Giants game, every win really surprises me because they've been so bad for so long. It's just like, wow, we actually won that game. Yeah, it's a good win over a Las Vegas team that's right in the mix for an AFC West crown, trying to dethrone the Chiefs.
Biased opinion, but Denver's winning that division. But on another note, the Urban Meyer-led Jags upset the Bills in Meyer's first NFL win in the U.S. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a big win Urban Meyer needed. Big win Trevor Lawrence needed over a really good Buffalo team. Again, Buffalo, just kind of like Dallas, kind of laid an egg. I bet everybody, in their survivor elimination pools had Buffalo or Dallas. I know in the one I'm in, I think 30% had 30% had Dallas. So yeah, that's a win. Definitely Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer were hungry for. So maybe that gets them over the hump. Maybe that's kind of shifts them into gear and to play better football throughout the remainder of the year.
Survivor leagues. Easy to play. You don't have to worry about the spread. How's your Survivor season going?
Still 9-0. Had the Colts over the Jets this week 10. Probably going to go Pittsburgh over Detroit. Seems like a buy, seems like a gimme for me. But we'll see. But yeah, 9-0 right now. And I know you're doing pretty well too, Cody, hanging around in that huge pool, a lot of money up for grabs, and it's going to be an exciting last finish to the season, man.
Dude, after 41 people lost for the first time this weekend, they all faced that $45 buyback, which would put the pot over 10 G's, dude. 10 grand for a $20 buy-in. Week 10 is the last week to buy back in after now. I could definitely use that kind of money. Last thing I want to touch on, is the Chiefs' ugly win against Green Bay. Do the Chiefs stink? And what do you think? A-Rod basically can go into Green Bay's front office with a blank check and ask for whatever type of money he wants, right? After watching Jordan Love just not play well.
Yeah, that Chiefs' ugly win over Green Bay, man. It was just, gosh, I mean, it was so bad. Jordan Love didn't play well. Chiefs, I don't know. I'm not sold on the Chiefs yet. I think they're gonna put it up and start working hard, and I think they're gonna start rolling towards the end of the year. But right now, they are just stuck in something. I don't know if it's mentally, I don't know, because it's Mahomes, it's Kelsey, it's Hardman. The defense is obviously not good at all.
As a Broncos fan, I love to see them falling apart. I'll also say their defense stinks. But what the hell is going on with Pat Mahomes and crew in Kansas City?
And they played decent yesterday, but man, I don't know what's wrong with the Chiefs. You know, it's not like they lost any part of their team to a big injury or trade or free agent in the offseason. I mean, they have pretty much everybody back. And I don't know what's going on. But I think the Chiefs, they'll be okay. I think they'll put it together here soon. And yeah, Rodgers I don't know. I really disagree with Rodgers' decision making. I think he's the most selfish guy in the league. He's not a likable guy. Yes, he can throw a football, but Aaron Rodgers, at the end of the day, I was in 5th grade when he went to a Super Bowl. Like, sick. Mahomes has been here for 4 years, and he's gone to 2 already, more than Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a really selfish player, and I mean, I guess when you're making that kind of money, he can do what he wants, but at the end of the day, it's just, I don't really have any respect for him at all.
Damn, tell us how you really feel there, Jack. Regardless of anyone's thoughts on the Rodgers situation, he's eligible to come back on Saturday as long as he tests negative. Should he be ready to go, they take on Seattle. Who gets Russell Wilson back after a finger injury? Saw that a report from a doctor stated he's never seen somebody come back so fast from a gruesome injury like that. Anyways, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Wild week 9 in the NFL season. Week 10 has a lot to live up to. See you next week. Tonight's show was a fantastic one, talking football. Special thanks to Jack for coming on the show, and thank you for spending your night with me. I'm Cody Harms, saying goodnight.